Tent after tent lining the street here in Denver. This is at 4th and Calumet today, but not for long. The city will sweep this giant encampment later this week. Before that, though, a Supreme Court hearing could eventually change the way all U.S. cities regulate homelessness. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments tomorrow on whether camping bans violate the Constitution. So Denver 7's Claire Lavazoro shows us how the U.S. Supreme Court could change enforcement as we know it.
In the shadow of the light rail running through Denver's Baker neighborhood, there's a tent city.
People are in constant fear that someone is going to show up and arrest them or move them along.
That fear, a reality. One advocate, Amy Beck, says enforcement is only getting stronger, capturing this video of police threatening to make arrests at a nearby encampment. This comes as the nation's highest court will hear whether cities like Denver can continue to enforce camping bans.
Depending on the outcome of this case with the Supreme Court, it could get much worse.
Notices are posted here at 4th and Calumet saying a sweep will take place on Thursday, while many people at this encampment don't have other shelter options. Civil rights lawyer Andy McNulty says in states like California and Washington, the ban can't be enforced unless there are shelter beds available. With a conservative supermajority on the Supreme Court right now,
I'd imagine that the court would probably overturn it and allow for criminalization of folks.
Beck believes that criminalization isn't the answer.
To put people in jail and to continue to cycle them through, it just perpetuates the homeless problem.
But this nearby property owner tells us she installed an 8-foot fence to keep crime out after problems from the encampment crept too close to her home. And no matter what the Supreme Court decides, she hopes the sweeps will continue until there is a better solution. Reporting for Denver 7, I'm Claire Lavazoro.
Now, while the Supreme Court will start oral arguments tomorrow, a decision likely will not come until June or July. Let's take this in depth tonight. The Department of Housing and Urban Development reported that between 2022 and 2023, the number of people experiencing homelessness increased 12%. Experts say this case is the most significant legal dispute over homelessness in America in more than 40 years.
Do we want to live in communities where we all help each other to try to find a safe place to live? Or do we want to live in a community where we punish and arrest and jail the victims of our failed housing policies?
Whose interests and whose rights supersede the other person's, right? And I think that's what we're going to ultimately find out in this court case.
Currently, a 2018 Ninth Circuit Court decision found that while camping on public property can be made illegal, citing or arresting people for sleeping on public property equates to cruel and unusual punishment if they have nowhere else to go.